What's good, good peoples? Welcome to Man Enough. Today's topic is alcohol abuse, addiction. We don't talk about it enough, and today on Man Enough, we're going to discuss it. So if you're ready for this discussion, buckle up, because here we go. We're going to talk about it. Now, Strawberry Hill. Well, was it Strawberry Hill? It was Boone's Farm strawberry. That's the first thing I ever drank. Very first night. I was over my homeboy's house that played on my basketball team, and I spent the night over at his house, and we had some was it Strawberry Hill or whatever, Boone's Farm, whatever that is, whatever. I think it was Boone's Farm, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was like for the first time, it was like soda. It was like soda. When I drank it, it was like soda. I remember it tasting like it was a little, you know what I'm saying, bitter or whatever, but after you drank it, I was drinking it a little bit, it was all good. It was like, I felt warm. I felt warm inside. I was like, oh man, this is wild. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was 17 when I first had my first drink. It was strawberry. That's crazy to think about right now. But yeah, so that was the first time I had something to drink. You know what I'm saying? It was just fun. And after that, I didn't drink anymore. I had it once or twice or whatever in that night, or maybe I think I spent the night and I had it a second night or whatever. But that was my introduction. We was just chilling. Oh, let's have something to drink. I ain't never drank nothing before. You drank something before? Nah, we played basketball. We ain't really never had nothing to drink. But I seen it. I seen people drink. You know what I'm saying? I saw it. I was around the neighborhood. I had my uncle, you know what I'm saying? They drank. I saw him drinking. I saw a couple of people in my family drinking a lot. It was normal. As a matter of fact, what's crazy is my father didn't drink. I never saw my father drink. I never saw my father, like, he wasn't in the house with, like, go get me a 6-pack or go get me I gotta run to the store and go get me something to drink. It wasn't that in my house, but it was around me, right? It was around me. And what's crazy was I saw my uncle drinking when I was younger. Matter of fact, my uncle gave me some beer when I was 5 years old. I'll never forget that. That's crazy. It was some Budweiser, right? But yeah, I saw it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it was fun. It was the party thing. It was fun when I did it. You know what I'm saying? It was fun, but it didn't end up like that. But a crazy thing, like I was saying, my father, I never seen him do it in the house or whatever. But one day, I was about 10 years old, right? I was about 10 years old, and I was going to the park. I was going to a park that I don't normally go to. I usually go to this one park where it was an inside gym, and I digress. Anyway, I was going to the park to go play some basketball at this other park, and when I'm walking up to the park, I'm looking at the car, and I'm like, that looked like our car. And I'm getting closer, and I was like, that looked like my uncle. My uncle was in the passenger seat. So I'm like, oh, my dad and my uncle was up here chilling at the park or whatever. I'm going to the park, and I look inside the car, and I was like, my dad got a beer. I was like, oh my God, my uncle and my dad got a beer. They sit in the park drinking a beer. I was like, oh my God, I never seen that before, right? But come to find out, you know what I'm saying, looking around the neighborhood, you see all these people drunk. My uncle's drunk. It's just a normal thing. When I started drinking, it was fun. When I see people drinking, it was fun. It was a party. It was, I get it to get loose. That's the problem. When it started off like that, it didn't end up like that, because it became, I'm just doing it on this day, on that day. Now I'm doing it so much more, and now it's every day, where I'm getting up for breakfast, having brew till I go to sleep. I'm having a brew. It was known. I'm having a brew. Everybody having brews. We all sipping, but it turns into something else. it turns into an addiction where it's needed. I need to have the beer. It was no longer fun. It was, I need to have this drink, and I need to have more. It's not enough. It wasn't enough. So it became an addiction so tough that in my mind, I'm like, I'm not even addicted. It's just something that I do every day. I'm not addicted to this, but I was. You are. If you can't go a day, I'm talking about my everyday thinking. I can't wait to get off of work because when I get off work, I'm going to get me something to drink. Now, this is the thing. It's like when you have all of these things going on at one time over your lifespan, it's like all my family, all these people in my family are drinking. You know what I'm saying? So I started drinking. I eventually started drinking. I eventually became an alcoholic. Everybody in my fam bam, not everybody, but I'm saying, I know with some people in your fam bam that's they daddy and they daddy's daddy drank. It's like we not even getting to the core of why you ended up drinking, what trauma it was, what led you to drinking. Because like I said, it started off as fun. It started off as, oh, I want to get loose. But then it becomes every day, all day. And everybody in my fam bam, you go, wherever you go, anybody around, there is some alcohol involved. And it's not just socially. It's just, and it causes friction, fighting, all this type of stuff that's going on. It stopped. It had to stop with me. It had to stop with me because it was too much. It was too much. And the thing about that I say for me, where it stops, and I'm not passing that on to my kids. I'm not gonna pass it on to my sons because of how I felt how I looked around them. A moment in time where I got locked up for every bad thing that I've done, every bad decision that I've made has been a direct line to me drinking. That's why the addiction is, I'm thinking about nothing else but when I'm gonna get something to drink, how much I gotta get something to drink. Like, it stops right here. It stops right here. If you want to, you can stop. If you want to and have the will to, you can stop. My mother always told me, when you want to, when you ready, you'll stop. You'll stop. But for my fam bam, that generational curse of addiction stops with me. I did enough of it. I did enough of it. Too much. So, like I said, it's like when I think about the changes and what caused me to change, my attitude was simple. One particular point in time in my life, 4 or 5 years ago, I don't know the exact date, but it was 5 years ago, I went and I got locked up. I got locked up for, like I said, making bad decisions when I'm impaired, right? So I get locked up. So I told this story several times. I don't know if I told it on YouTube, but YouTube, here you go. Audience out there, whoever's watching, here you go. I got locked up. The short version is I got locked up. I woke up. I was woke, laying on my bunk, and God spoke to me. I know y'all think that's crazy. God spoke to me. He was like, "Are you ready? You ready?" And I'm thinking he talking about you ready to leave, like you ready to get out of jail. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go." But that wasn't it. He was saying, "Are you ready?" I later found out that it was, "Are you ready to quit? Are you ready to move on? Are you ready to be better?" That's what that was. That moment, that day, when I heard God's voice clear as day, I stopped drinking. I stopped drinking. I was done. I told him I was done. And I had enough. I had enough. Man enough. to break generational curses, man. Cause that right there, it's been going on for a long time. And I'm done. You're done. When you ready, you're gonna be done. But like I said, this right here is just not to bash nobody, not to you know what I'm saying, downplay or talk about none of my family. I'm just making a correlation. And the generational curses that were going on in my family, I'm stopping for my kids, my sons. Anybody out there that's dealing with that addiction, generational curses, whatever it may be, it can stop with you. I'm man enough. You're man enough or woman enough to do it. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen. But join us again for the next episode, because this is a fatherhood legacy right here. This is Fatherhood Legacy Series. We're going to keep this thing going. I want you to stop doing the addiction that you having. Get some act right up in you, because it can be done. It can be done. I am living proof. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't here to preach to nobody. That's the furthest thing I want to do is preach to nobody. I just want to help. If this helps one person, this helps one person to say that I can do it, I can stop, and it can stop right here with me. That's all I did. I did without my job. On that note, y'all be easy. Love y'all. Love yourself. Keep God first. Man enough. And we out.